Hi, my name is Leslie Williams, and today's date is April 3rd, 2012, and I'm in San Diego, California. And this is the second half of the previous video that I made in reference to the video that towards the very tail end of it I had to stop making it because the bus was arriving. And that video is also reference to April 3rd, 2012. This is a continuation of that video in reference to what I was talking about at the tail end of that video. When we have potentiated neural circuits that have already been associated to specific evoked potentials and motor cortex associated behaviors, then we can begin to understand what it's like, what I was talking about in reference to brain entrainment and how remote neural monitoring is used to stimulate what is entrained. Now, what we have to understand here is that I was going to give a metaphor, an example in reference to the scope and the partial depth of what this technology is capable of. And so here it goes. I'm going to illustrate it in the form of a story. And hang on a second. Hey, what is this right here? What is this right here? Me neither. Hang on a second. Alright, so excuse me that I'm smoking right now, and I'm sorry that I'm not making this video in a more formal setting. But me smoking and where I'm making the video at is not important. What's important is what I'm stating and trying to inform the public about. And again, the reason why I'm doing this is because of the depth and scope of this technology. People are using this technology against people from outside of their homes without their awareness. Okay, without their conscious awareness. Okay, and I'm talking about it being used against the mothers, the fathers, the grandparents, and even the children. And this is what we have to understand when we begin to understand the scope and depth of the criminality that is behind the aspirations and motivations of why they're doing it. Then I think you'll appreciate, as a result, me briefing you on the capabilities of this technology. And here goes the story, so it can help you understand the capabilities of this technology and what it's used for. Say if you have, this is the story right here, and say if you have a friend that comes by one day, and say it's a co-worker that you've been working with for a long time. Hang on. And you both are taking a vacation in the same week, and so one comes over to the other person's house and says, "Hey, you want to go to the casino?" I don't gamble. This is just an illustration because it's going to. The reason why I'm stating this specific illustration is to help you understand the scope and depth, again, of this technology. So one person comes over to another person's house and he says, "Would you like to go to the casino? I mean, we're on vacation. Why not? Let's give it a try." And the other one says, "Okay, I got a big bonus from work, and why not? You know, I'll put $300 in my pocket. That's as much as I can afford to lose." That might be his mindset. So he goes with them to the casino, and so he thinks, you know, he has all these thoughts, and he thinks to himself, "Okay, I can spare $300 if I lose." Then he gets up and he gets dressed. You know, he gets cleaned up, he gets dressed, he gets his car keys, and him and his friend go to the casino and they play. And in this illustration, I'm going to say that he won. You know, he won more than he lost. So then he gets his winnings and he goes out and has something to eat with his friend and he goes home. That is one specific neural network. Okay. The thinking, the evoked potentials that are associated to that neural network are the thoughts of, okay, I can afford to win spare $300 in case I lose, and now the motor cortex associated behaviors of actually getting up and getting cleaned up and getting dressed and then getting your car keys and getting in the car and going there, and then the interactions you have with the environment of playing at the casino. That's all one neural network. Okay, all the thought processes and all the associated motor cortex behaviors are one neural network. The handlers of the remote neural monitoring, what they can do is identify and mark that specific neural network. How? What they do is identify it through the monitoring. And how they do that is that when the person is processing these processes of thinking to themselves, "I'm going to go, I can only spend $300," and so on and so forth, the brain is emitting a specific amount of resonance frequency in reference to the magnetic flux that is generated as a result of the neurons talking to each other. The thought processes communicate with each other in reference to the thoughts that are associated to the neural network. And as a result, a specific amount of magnetic flux is generated, and that's called a resonance frequency. They identify and mark that resonance frequency and assign, mathematically, and assign a number to it. Yeah. Then with the remote neural monitoring, what they do is what they can do is take a frequency off of anything, because the brain runs on extra low frequency wave spectrum. So what they do is identify and mark that specific neural network based on that mathematical equation that they equated from the amount of frequency that was generated in that magnetic flux pertaining to that specific resonance frequency of that specific neural network. So what they do is that since they know it runs, that specific resonance frequency is generated through the extra low frequency wave spectrum, bioelectric frequency, what they do is they'll generate a frequency from their end and then step it down and modulate it to interface with the bioelectric frequency of that brain, that specific mathematical equation of it. And then what they'll do is once they have identified and marked it and then step down their modulated frequency to interface with it, they'll send a frequency that is identical to it and then pulsate it in order to stimulate that neural network in current time, in real time, in order to activate it and bring it back in conscious forefront to get it thought out again and acted out again. Okay? And the way they pulsate it, they stimulate it underneath the perceptual radar, so the target has no idea that it's being stimulated. As a result of this, the thought process is it's activated and brought back into current consciousness and acted out in real time. And so the target just believes that they're having another thought of going, all the associated emotional states of that the person had as a result of contemplating the idea, feeling a little bit excited about it. Everything that is associated within that neural network that was processed on that day is literally re-stimulated and brought back into the current conscious forefront of the target's brain. And they just believe they're having okay, I'm going to go to the casino today. They just believe that it's them having a particular thought on a specific day. They don't know they've been stimulated, is what I'm trying to say. This is literal mind control. Okay? And this is the direct capability of remote neural monitoring. Now, when you look at this, we can honestly see that any neural network that is created under any circumstance, once it's created and acted out on, it can be identified and marked and stimulated in current time. Which means that if you had a thought of going to the store and spending some money, okay, on a specific day or whatever, or if you had a thought of whatever, it doesn't matter, anything, okay, you can be stimulated on any date in any event for any reason. And this is the powerfulness of remote neural monitoring. So when we look at possible people with gambling addictions or other addictions, we can come to understand how possibly people who have who are the handlers of this technology can literally manipulate you neurally and control you. My name is Leslie Williams. I make these videos to help the community to understand a section of remote neural monitoring. And I do this to help you understand. I know fathers like to protect their families and their wives and their children, their parents, you know, and this is the reason why I make these videos. Now, if you can look and begin to use your imagination to look at the other kind of applications and aspirations that this can be used for, by understanding this simple example, then you'll understand the depth and scope of why I make this video for you, to help you understand. This includes also getting students to keep taking out loans. Once they've been duped into taking out loans, they process the thought of doing it, then they have the motor cortex associated behaviors of doing it, and they do it. That's one neural network. And they can stimulate a person to keep going to school. They can stimulate any neural network to keep it active and to keep it reacted and responsive in order to get you to do specific things. There was an article in USA Today in reference to specific monitors being set up in grocery stores and retail stores. Remote neural monitoring. This technology can piggyback on the frequency of anything that emits a frequency. Do monitors emit frequencies? And how often do you sit in front of a computer? My name is Leslie Williams, San Diego, California.